Hello, welcome back to the Football Terrace. Thank you very, very much for tuning in. It's Man United 1, West Ham 1, and United go third. But as a Man United fan sitting here right now, disappointed massively. One with the most inexplicable handball by Paul Pogba. Absolute cowardice. Cowardice from Paul Pogba in that moment, it truly was. And equally, we were dead after 60 minutes. 60 minutes into that game, Martial had a very good shot saved. Greenwood had a shot blocked off the line. Rashford had a very good shot saved. Rashford played in Bruno Fernandes for a clear goal-scoring opportunity that he miscontrolled and fell away. That's to name 4 opportunities, clear-cut opportunities that we had very early on. We had over 65% of the ball. We nullified West Ham to just 3 shots outside the penalty. And 2 of them were pop shots from distance that didn't do anything, and the other was it hit the man on top of the head and went over the crossbar. West Ham weren't in the game. West Ham were doing absolutely nothing. They scored the penalty. Fair play, they're 1-0 up. Stupid from Pogba, as I mentioned. Second half begins. We're like a bull in a china shop. We get the goal. That was it. 60 minutes hit. Physically, mentally finished. And I think the majority of that was mental fatigue, stress, anxiety, everything you could throw into it. The Man United players tonight, in my opinion, bottled the job. Absolutely bottled the job in hand tonight. Not good enough at all. And it was, in the end, terrible. And I always say that about football matches, and I'm going to remain as consistent as I can. If we start off in the first 30 minutes poorly and then turn it round, I call it a brilliant game. If we're brilliant for the first 60 minutes, and then last 30 minutes we don't do anything, it's an awful game. Especially if you don't pick up the victory. And that, if we perform like that in the second half against Leicester, we may not make the Champions League, and we only have ourselves to blame. And it isn't the system, it isn't the style, it isn't any one individual player. Tonight, the villain is Paul Pogba. And he deserved to be, absolutely deserved to be vilified and chastised for that. Okay? But that isn't why we didn't win tonight. It's myopic to put that all on him. I'm angry with him massively for what he did. It was stupid. But we didn't win because as a collective group, we couldn't deliver. And we had the ball in the right places. We had the ball in the right spaces. And every single one of them, Bruno, Pogba, the only 2 United players that leave tonight with a crumb of not a foot wrong. And of course, you've got to give Greenwood some credit for scoring the goal. I'll give Martial as well because he set the goal up. But aside from that, these boys, absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking performance. It truly was in the end. And like I say, United fans take the banter. United fans take all the banter in because we deserve it. We absolutely deserve it for how terrible we were in those last 30 minutes of that game. At least in the opening 60, we created opportunities and we created openings. Aside from that, poor. Do me a big favour and hit the like button. Please hit the share button as well. It's really important to me that you get that job done. Now, does that deter me from thinking that Manchester United are not moving in the right direction? No. It tells me there is still work to be done. There is still that element of mentality that needs to be added to the style of football. And we've seen that in the last couple of games, maybe 3 games, where we haven't just quite got there. And I expected and I demanded as a fan a reaction, and we're not getting it. Now what I want to see, now what I demand to see is us progress from that point. I really do. Comment here says, Bruno was absolutely shocking. What are you talking about? West Ham deserved the point. Thoroughly outplayed United. Ollie is under pressure. I didn't say that West Ham didn't deserve the point, so I don't get what you're saying there. Bruno was poor tonight, there's no doubt about it. He did create the most amount of chances in a Man United shirt, but he had a poor game. And he's allowed to have a poor game. Why is he not allowed a poor game? Why is he not allowed 2 poor games? Why is he not allowed 3 poor games? We allow every other player to have poor games, but not Bruno. That's a madness. That's a madness. But what happens is, because nobody wants him to succeed, they're going to overly focus on that. That's what they're going to do. A comment here says, even if they made a mistake or so, they were just really knackered. Some of the balls they mishandled, just show they're exhausted, which is fine, but they need a plan on how to win next. Or draw, a win or a draw gets us through Leicester. And then look, we have the Europa League to then contend with. We get a bit more time off and rest in that period, and then we've got to try and recoup and come back next season. There are still signs to be proud of. There are still things to be positive about when you look at this run of games. And there are going to be a lot of negative Man United fans out there that won't just be able to criticise this one game. Williams as an example. Brandon Williams is now going to become the next scapegoat, the next target figure of hate by Manchester United fans. The big platforms won't protect him. They say they're fan channels. They say that they love the club. They don't. They're just about making money. They're going to go after him and bully him and attack him, chastise him, and do as simple as that. But listen, Bruno, Pogba, these guys, they'll all come good. They'll all come good again. They're allowed to have some off moments. We've done excellently well since returning from lockdown. We did brilliantly well in the lead up to lockdown, and there is no reason to panic. However, there is reason to criticise tonight's performance. Because remember, everybody says as long as we pick our Avengers, it won't go wrong. Well, it can do, because tiredness becomes an issue, fatigue becomes an issue, mistakes become an issue. And that's the next level. That's the final stage now of fixing this team. And you do that by positive reinforcement. You do that, you help do that by, you criticise where you need to, but then let them know they've done a great job. That's what Ollie's got to do. And then you buy the right reinforcements in the summer. That's what needs to be done. But let's go through some of your comments here. Burnout, Ollie played the same players in every game as he can't change things up because he isn't a manager. Okay, mate, cool. If you think that. Ollie needs to coach Bruno well. Bruno has been making too many mistakes, inaccurate passes. Bruno was making those kind of inaccurate passes in his opening games. I think another thing that, these things are not to panic about. We've also played quite a few clubs in recent games that have nothing else they're playing for this season, and it makes it a little bit easier for them. I think Pogba is brilliant, but a top-level athlete just has to take that one. Yeah, listen, on Paul Pogba's handball, and I've seen a lot of people try and defend it. That's crazy to me. 110% handball, no defence for it whatsoever. Deserves to be ridiculed, deserves to be criticised for it. But then you move on. That's the end of it. Super Chat here says, are you not panicking because United can still get Champions League just the way us Gooners are also not panicking? We can still get the Europa League. I'm not panicking because I've seen this before with very good Man United teams. Fergie would often say, we love doing it the hard way. And it feels a little bit like that. And of course, I would have loved us to have beaten Southampton. I would have loved for us to have beaten West Ham tonight. And we've worked ourselves into the ground, absolutely into the ground, getting to this point, clawing back a 14-point deficit. So there's so much to be positive about. We still know we need to sign new players. And look, you look at tonight's team. Fosu-Mensah, I think, is done at Man United. I think he put in a really poor performance. Williams, a lot of people aren't sold, but I'm willing to give the kid a couple more years of playing football and develop him before I judge him. Most defenders are not accomplished until their early mid-20s. You look at the rest of it tonight. We know we need more players. I thought Rashford shouldn't have started. I would put that on Ollie. Rashford looked dead all game. He looked physically exhausted for the majority of the match. But that's why we know we need to spend in the summer, and we will. So there's no point dismantling everything from what we've built up so far. There's no point trying to undo everything. I'll let the negative Man United fans do it. We did bottle it tonight, but also we didn't lose. Done. But we have to deliver. We have to step up and we have to deliver, and we'll see. But of course, we're going to go live after the Chelsea-Liverpool game, and we're going to see what you're all saying. We're going to see what you're all thinking and feeling after that. So we're going to go live. We're going to cover both the Chelsea and the United games. We're going to have live calls, letting you all can feel. A comment here says, where was the intensity? 60 minutes, we were fine. I'm not buying into this notion we were poor. Fabianski pulls off 2 or 3 very good saves. Greenwood has a shot that's blocked. There's good passes into the box that almost came off. It was nearly there. It was coming. And then Pogba gives away a silly handball. We come out and score an equaliser. And then we physically went. And you can look at Ollie and say, has he overplayed particular players? You may just be right when it comes to that. But at the same time, we were all screaming for the fringe players not to play as well. So which of the two do you want? because I think if you're against Ollie, you'd kick off with him with whatever he does. But there are no excuses for tonight. We simply weren't good enough, and I think 80% of it was in our heads. But we need to get through these moments to become better, and I think Ollie is the right man to lead us. Hit the like button, please. Hit the share button, and we'll see you again soon.